guys, this is Eddie with Computer Works. Today I want to show you how to do a step-by-step configuration on your routers and the switches. And today we're going to be using switches 1841s, our routers 1841s, and switches 2960 switches. So basically what I'm going to do here, what's on the left side of your screen is it's already been configured. And I'm going to show you how I configured this topology. So let's go ahead and get started. Let's start by connecting all of our equipment. So we'll get a copper straight through, and we'll go ahead and connect to our fast Ethernet to our switch on fast Ethernet 1, and then we'll go ahead and do the same to connect it on the switch on fast Ethernet 24 to our router, and we'll go ahead and connect it to fast Ethernet 00. We'll go ahead and attach our serial interface. Oh, well, we can't attach it without this card here. So let's go ahead and do it to all of them, to all the routers. Just remember, you gotta shut it off before you can install it and turn it back on once it's been installed. Okay, now we can connect our serial. We'll do 001 to 001, and 00000 to 0000. Let's finish connecting these. This is going on fast Ethernet 01 and to 24, fast Ethernet 24, to fast Ethernet 00 on the router. This is going to be a 3-step. It's going to be 3 videos on this, so bear with me. Hopefully we can wrap it up in 2. But most likely I'm showing you guys everything step by step, so just to make it easier, and that way you can understand what we're doing here. Alright, here we go. Fast Ethernet 00. All right, these are going to be the IP addresses that we're going to supply to this area, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to add VLANs, sub interfaces, and this is going to be a multi-area OSPF. This is all your basics, what you need to know. And these are your configurations that you're going to need. These are the IP addresses you're going to need to set up this network, and so on and so forth. So let's go ahead and get started. The IP address for this PC is in the description. It's 192.168.99.1. So let's go ahead and configure. Go ahead and insert that. By the way, so you can see, so we can see. .99.1 default gateway, 192.168.99.254. And let's do the same with this PC. It's 192.168.2.1.1 192.168.1.254. .192.168.2.250. Oh, sorry, get ahead of myself there. One default gateway, 192.168.2.254. And so now the PCs are done. Now we'll configure our first router. No. Again, going into our configuration terminal. First things first, no IP domain. Whoops. Lookup, hit enter. Then let's go ahead and do a service password encryption. Enable security. Whoops. We'll do Cisco. We'll do our banner MOTD. Unauthorized access is prohibited. Let's log down on our line console. Password, we'll do Cisco as well. Logging synchronous. Whoops. And then we'll go ahead and exit. Let's do a log down our VTY lines. Assign a password, Cisco, login, logging synchronous, and just exit. All right. So now we can do our sub interfaces. Interface. Fast Ethernet 00.99 IP address. Oh, don't forget encapsulation. .1Q 99 IP address 192.168.99.254. Set a mask 255.255.255.0. And that's it to that. For your sub interfaces. So we'll go ahead and exit out of that. And we'll go ahead and bring up our interface. For Fast Ethernet 00. And we'll just do a no shut. There we go. Now we have to configure our serial interface. From here to here. So let's go ahead and see what interface that is. That is 001. So interface that's 001. The IP address for 001 is 172. It's 172.6.1. With the subnet mask of 255.255.255.252. And since we have a clock rate on this interface, we're going to go ahead and set that at 128,000 and then just hit enter and a no shut. Okay. So as far as, let's go ahead and set an IP route. We'll just do a default route. So let's go ahead and exit out of this. And this is going to go out through serial interface 001. Enter. Then we'll go ahead and exit and save our work. Okay, so let's go ahead and exit out of this and configure this router. Go in our configuration terminal. Let's go ahead and let's go ahead and do a service password encryption. Enable security, Cisco. No IP domain lookup. Banner MOTD. And let's write our description. And we'll be right back with our next video. Continue on with the configuration on area 0. We assign the password for Cisco. Alright, here we go. Let's go back into our configuration terminal. And let's go ahead and lock down our line console. Assign the password and we will assign it Cisco. Log in. Now logging synchronous. And also log down our V2I. Assign the password, same Cisco. It's pretty repetitive. Once you play with this over and over and over, it just will sink in. Let's go ahead and configure our sub interface on Fast Ethernet 00. And we'll do a .5. IP address is 192.168.1.254. Before we do all that, something I seem to forget a lot, but I catch myself. Now, its IP address. And then we'll also do a no shut on that interface. Fast Ethernet 00. No shut. There we go. Now, as you can see, we have two serial interfaces. So let's go ahead and configure both of those interfaces. We'll start off with serial 001. Assign it as IP address. One 172.16.6.2. And it does have a CIDR of 30, so it's 255.255.255.252, and do a no shut, and that interface is up. Okay, so let's go ahead and do the same on serial interface 000. IP address is 172.16.2.2 and the same 255.255.252. And it does have a clock rate of 128,000. and then do a no shut. Oh, see, it gave me a warning here. So this is what we'll do. For some reason or another, I thought we were down here, but so we don't have to assign it a clock rate. So let's just do a no shut. And we can exit. Save your work. And now we can configure area 10. Let's go ahead and do that. Oh, we've already done that. No. By doing multiple routers and switches, and then you're doing one, then you do another router, and then do another router and another router. By the time you hit your second, third router, you're just pretty much flying through this. So I know it takes a long time setting all this up, but this is setting it up correctly. And as far as basic, this is as basic as you can get. But by knowing your basics, then you'll just fly through it and just make it a whole lot easier for you, especially if you're like working for a big company or an enterprise or whatever, and you have to go in and set all these up. So it's just a whole lot easier for you to fly through all this basic stuff. But this basic stuff is necessary, and it's a must-have. So let's go ahead and configure this router. So first we'll do a no IP domain lookup. Service password encryption, so that encrypts all your passwords. As same as the others, Cisco will be the password. Banner MOTD. Unauthorized access is prohibited. Question mark or exclamation mark, sorry. Alright, so we're done with that. Then we'll do our line console. Same password. Login synchronous. Our VTY lines. Password Cisco. And we are done with that. set up our sub interface. Interface fast Ethernet 0.10, and I'm using 10 because this is the VLAN 10, and so I went ahead and made it area 10, so just to make it more complex, more easier to identify your area. But you can make this any area you'd like, any VLAN you like, or whatever your administrator that's over you that asks of you. So, but I'm using 10. So IP address, or actually, see what I mean? Encapsulation. Now we can add our address 192.168.254. Going back into our fast Ethernet 00 and do a no shut. Now let's go into our serial interface. IP address is 172.16.2. And this will be .1 with a subnet mask of 255.255.252, and this does have a clock rate of 128,000, and do a no shut, and we're up. Alright, now that we have done all that, we will start on our switches. So don't forget to save your work. Close. Close. Start on our switch. Let's get into our configuration terminal, and same steps as we did on the router, on all routers. Just remember, you don't you can assign it any passwords that you want, that you like. So but for this topology, for this video, we're using Cisco for everything. synchronous, and then lock down our V2Is. Sign a password. Alright, configure our sub interface. Fast Ethernet 0.0.10. Whoops. Scratch that on the sub interface. You're thinking that I was on the router still. So anyway, we are on switch 0, so let's go ahead and assign our VLANs. This is VLAN 99. Enter, we'll give it a name. Management, NGT for short. And then we'll exit. And then assign an IP address. You don't have to, but I do for pinging purposes. Interface, VLAN, '99. Change state to up. Assign an IP address 192.168.99. We said it would be 253. 253 7 ask of 255.255.0. And that's all you have to do to that. Whoops. So now that we have assigned the IP address, now what we need to do is go into our we have to bring up our VLANs by assigning a trunk. This is going to be our trunk line here. So, and this is on this trunk line is on port 24 or interface 24. So let's go into our interface. Fast Ethernet 24, switch port, mode, trunk, and now we brought it up. As you can see, it's converging there. And we're going to go ahead and assign it a native VLAN as well. So let's go ahead and exit that. And we'll assign VLAN to 80, VLAN 80 for our native. 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 Then we'll exit that, go back into our interface. Fast Ethernet 024. So switch port, trunk, native. If you use your question mark, if you don't know what to assign next, then I suggest do a question mark right here, and it'll give you what you can import into your configuration line. So native is what I was looking for. VLAN 80. Now if you're using other peripherals other than Cisco, now you will be able to send packets and information through your trunk line here. So whatever you do here, you would have to do it over here. So all right, we're done with that. Now we have to assign Fast Ethernet 01 as an access port. So we will go into interface, Fast Ethernet 01, switch port mode, access, switch port access, VLAN 99, and we're done. It's converging over here, as you can see, which that's good. That's good. That's real good. Okay. Now we can go ahead and exit. I left all the switches and routers as its default name, but if you want to know how to assign your router or switch a name, all you have to do is type host name and then space and then whatever the name of the router or switch that whatever name you would like. So I just left it at default. So now we'll just go ahead and exit that. Just don't forget to save your work. Let's go into our configuration terminal. Set up our VLANs. And this is VLAN 10, VLAN 5. Assign it a name. We're just going to name this accounting. And then we'll exit that. So let's go ahead and assign this switch an IP address. So interface VLAN 5 IP address 192.168. .253 and I have it right here with the subnet mask of 255.255.255.0, and then just hit enter, exit, VLAN 80, name native, now we'll configure our interfaces. Interface fast Ethernet 024, switch port mode trunk, switch port mode or switch port trunk, native VLAN 80, and then we will assign an access port on fast Ethernet 01, switch port mode access, switch port access, VLAN 5, and we can exit out of that. And it's converging over here. That's pretty cool. Pretty cool. I love this. All right. I love when things start to come together, start working. Okay. So now we have to save our work. Configuration terminal, service password encryption, Cisco, and that's it. That's all that's to this. It's pretty easy. Okay, so now that we have all of that configured, now let's go ahead and set up our VLANs. Alright, so VLAN and name will be, we'll just use this as I guess just in general office. How about home office? Oops. Okay. VLAN 80. Name native. Set up our interfaces. Interface 01. Oh my God. Switch port. Mode. Access. Switch port. Access. VLAN 10. Exit. Interface. Fast Ethernet 24. Switch port mode. Trunk. This is our trunk. As of this as well is our trunk. And this is our trunk. Switch port mode trunk. Interface is brought up. Switch port trunk. Native. VLAN 80. Exit that. Interface. VLAN 10. We'll assign this switch an IP address of IP at 192.168.2.253. With a CIDR 24. And now we can exit out of that. Okay, and one thing I forgot to do is assign the default gateway on these routers. And it is 192.168.2.254. And that's it. So I'd have to go back into all the routers to assign its default gateway. Save your work. So we're done with that switch. Let's go back in here. Cisco. Oh my goodness. Well, while that's doing that, Cisco, go into a configuration terminal, IP, default gateway, 192.168.99.254. Save our work. Done on that. look at something here right quick. Well, I have not set a password on this. So line console 0, password Cisco, login synchronous, IBTY 015, password Cisco, synchronous, service, password encryption, Cisco, all right. And for switch 1, IP default gateway 192.168.1.254. Okay, now we are done configuring that. So now what we're going to do is we're going to run OSPF, multi-area OSPF on these three networks. So bear with me for a second. Okay, so I configured a default an IP route, default route through serial interface 001 going this way. So we're gonna have to go ahead and configure the default route on that one as well. There are the an IP route, so it's gonna be the default route of 0000000. So let's go ahead and get in to our configuration terminal. IP route. Through interface serial 001. IP route 00000. Did I get 0 happy here? 1, 2, 3, 4. Sure did. Okay. Do serial interface 001 or 000. Exit. Save your work. And let's do the same to this router. Cisco. I do believe that is 000. Let me see here. Just to be on the safe side. Sure is. Okay. And we are done. Alrighty. So all we have left is setting up OSPF. Alright. So far so good. Oh, beautiful. Yes. There it is there. Okay. And you can also configure and save your, do your work. You can also, instead of using that, you can ping on your computer going into command prompt and ping, we're on PC 0, we'll go ahead and ping PC 2, which is 192.168.2.1, which we assigned that PC. And look at that, it's beautiful. All right. So let's go ahead and start configuring OSPF. We are now in our configuration terminal, and router OSPF 1 is our command. Router ID. Since this is our first router, we'll just go ahead and do 1.1.1.1. Enter our networks, and our subnet mask is a wildcard, so you have to insert a wildcard instead of your subnet mask as of like 255.255.255.0. Well, that tutorial will be another time, another day, but as far as right now, this is considered a wildcard mask for our subnet. So our network is 192. Right, network was 192. 168.99.0 0.0.0.255. And how I got this wildcard here is by, let me pull up my notepad here. Is by doing your typing in your subnet mask of 255.255.255.0, basically what you'd have to do is line up 255, 255, 255.255, and then you'll put your you'll put your subnet mask in of 255.255.0, and then you would subtract this from this, and which basically will give you 0, 0, 0, 255, and that's how you get your wildcard mask. So it's pretty simple. Anyhow, and so now we have to assign it to our area, which that is area 99. Set up our network for our serial interface here, which is 172.16.6.0. Also, this is a wildcard mask of 3. Area 0. This is our backbone. And we are done. Later we'll come back to this, and I will show you guys how to assign, to configure access lists. But that's really important to set that up. And but like I said, this is your basic configurations. We will do that now, and then we'll branch off of this same topology at a later time on another video. So let's go ahead and exit out of router 0 and go into router 1. Router OSPF 1. Assign a router ID. So this is our second router. Set up our network of 192.168.1.0, wildcard mask of 255, and this is our backbone area. This is our area 0. So okay. network. Of 172.16.6.0 wildcard mask. There I go again. Area 0, and we just assigned this network, which is this network. We just assigned this network and this network. Now we have to assign this network right here, 172.16.20, and that's also in area 0. So 172.16.2.0 wildcard mask. Did I do that again? Get 0 happy there. Area 0. Assign a default information. Originate. Exit. And we're done with that one, with that router. Now router 2, Cisco. Yeah, it can be a pain sometimes going into all this equipment with passwords all the time, but it's very secure, and you know that it's locked down, so not just anyone can get in, and that's the whole purpose of setting these passwords and encrypting them and everything. Let's go ahead and go into our configuration terminal. Same as the others. Router, OSPF 1. So assign me this router ID. This is the third router. Our network. Which is 172.16.2.0 wildcard mask, area 0. As you can see, the adjacencies between these routers are starting to recognize its neighbors. So now let's assign our network, our area 10. So that IP address is 192.168.2.0 wildcard mask of 255, and this is area 10. And that's it for that. Now we can now let's go in, do some show commands, make sure that everything is established in adjacency, our routers, and let's save our work. Let's do a show IP OSPF neighbor. Let's see if it'll recognize this neighbor. And it sure has. It has picked up its neighbor right here. This is the router ID we assigned. This is the router ID that we assigned to this router, and we are currently on router 2. So now let's go into do the same on router 1 and see if it established its neighbors, its adjacency to its neighbors. So show IP OSPF neighbor, and it has picked up one neighbor, and it's this one right here, but it has not picked up this neighbor. So it wasn't picking it up early, just a second ago, but now it's showing up now as my neighbor. So what I did, I had to go and I had set a default information originate. I went ahead and took that off router 1, and just did a no IP network of the network that runs from here to here, which is 172.6.0 on both routers, and then I just went ahead and reapplied it, and might have just been a glitch on the system on packet tracer. So let's go ahead and on router 1 I should be able to detect router 0 and router 2. So let's go ahead and see if it shows up as our neighbor. So run a show command, show IP OSPF neighbor, and there it is. So now it's showing up. Sometimes it's mind-boggling, mind-breaking on when something goes wrong and you know you've done it dozens of times and it could just be one misconfiguration. Just don't get frustrated. Learn your show commands and go through it. You know, just go through your configurations and make sure everything's set up right. So now that we have that, we're showing both routers here. This router 0 will only show its neighbor, which is router 1. It will not show router 2's information. So let's go ahead and do a show command on that one as well. Show IP OSPF neighbor, and there it is. It picked up its neighbor. This is the router ID that we assigned router 1. And as far as this one goes, let's see if it picks up router 1. So so now that we established our neighbors and we know that that's OSPF is operating as it should, we're going to go ahead and find out. We're gonna use another show command. So we're gonna find out and see which is the backup router or our BR or our DVR routers. So let's go ahead and take a look and see what's going on here. All right, so router 2 is the ABR router, and router 1 is an ABR router. So what this is telling us, that this router here, router 1, is our ASBR router. So this is our backbone area here. So if we were to lose connectivity with on this interface, we will just lose connection to this network here. But these two will still be up and running. So in a later video, what I'm going to do is we're going to go ahead and we're going to build our topology to where if one link would go down, we have another route. We will have another route to go to keep this flowing, keep this network going. So that way it gives us time to come in and fix this link here, or this interface, or to see or explore to see what's going on why this link here went down. So but to prove a point, like I said, this is our ABR routers. Let's see if this is our ASBR, which it should be. So let's go ahead and show IP OSPF. So definitely router 2 is an ABR, and router 1 is an ABR. If you go into show IP OSPF database, it gives you a list of your routers that you're connected to. And I want to point out one more OSPF command here. This gives you tons of information that you need to know if you ever need to configure your routers here. Gives you your router ID. It just gives you numerous things that you need to know for troubleshooting. Area backbone 0. So anyway, that should be pretty much it. All we're gonna do is to see if it all works, we're gonna run pings on everything. We're gonna ping our way around here, so let's go and PC1. We're gonna ping this PC here. Took it a little bit. There we go. Run it one more time. There we go. Let's go ahead and ping 192.168.1.2.1. There we go. And it should. So we're able to ping from this PC to that PC to that PC, and we should be able to ping all the others off of this one. 68.99.1. There it goes. I picked it up. Let's go ahead and ping 192.168.1.1. There you go. Perfect. So, I appreciate you guys joining me, and hopefully this can help you out in what you're trying to accomplish. Oh, one more thing. I want to see if we can telnet into our router. We'll telnet into there we go. successful. We were able to connect. Okay guys, well thank you very much for watching my video.